Wait.
What?
Okay.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
And we're live. Greetings and salvations. I am Unthoth, Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you are listening to Eldritch Rants, the show that dares to ask the question, what the hell are they thinking over at Marvel? As you can see by the opening picture today, they happen to, when they're doing the layout, put the superhero directly over the art part of Ironheart, and it looks like fart. And you know what happened? When I called them up and I said, hey, by the way, you might want to fix this layout before you send it to printer, because, you know, that is very bad optics. I got banned. So we screw you dudes. Screw Marvel 100%. Here we got Farty and Cryptic. How you guys doing today? Typical, huh?
Well, I think he's a bit relieved.
I,
Iron.
As
I,
I'm Vash, though.
I'm,
I don't know
yeah. You
why
got, you should
female
check
hates
out
me.
Vash. He takes this much more seriously than I do. You know, I'm just a brain slug, and this whole channel is just a trap to lure you humans in, so I can eat your brain. So,
Well,
I'm
I
uh,
just
don't
one,
have any of that.
just
So
wondering with Riri Williams, was that person's parents like Japanese and they were trying to say Lily?
you know, here's the weird thing about this comic. Now that they've given her own comic and she's not just Iron Man anymore, uh, the person that they hired, Eve Ewing, to head up Riri Williams Iron Art, she looks just like Riri Williams. Like they literally picked an artist solely based on what she looks like.
Well, she's just one letter away from being evil earwig
This is true.
because the
It, it,
middle name's L and just take away the N in earwing. It's evil earwig.
you know, I want to give people an honest chance. You know, I don't want to completely destroy somebody just cause. You know what I'm saying? That you know, I want to actually see the comic when it comes out before I say it's a piece of shit. But the way they treat the audience already before you've even, sold your first comic, it's not good to ban people right off the bat. And I was remarkably polite. I said, excuse me, do you know what this looks like? And I sent him a picture and said, perhaps if it isn't printed yet, you should talk to your layout people. Wasn't even 10 minutes before I was banned.
I
really,
reckon it's just a pain in the ass the way that this fucker has the names of things. EV Wing and Riri. Like the fuck? They're hard to pronounce. Why don't you just make something that's easier?
And you know, a name like Ironheart, that's a villain name. Really, that's what you call a villain. Like,
actually, I kind of think of it like Braum. Ironheart.
Yeah, it just seems like an old timey way that they used to call a king. He's George the Ironheart.
Yeah.
you know, it could go that way. You know, that's why I'm saying I want to actually see the first comic. But this is not a good beginning. Not a good
If
beginning.
at first you don't succeed, tell me, how did that feel?
George the Ironheart, and he's glutton of a brother, Fred the flatulent fart. I don't know.
I can see
I
that.
don't know.
At any rate, was there any topics you two want to address before we got started?
Nah,
All right, we're gonna do I'm gonna do all the various topics I found in alphabetical order.
Well, I actually do have one
go for
that
it.
I was thinking about. Do you know how Doom has kind of progressed to a different style and format?
You mean the
What
game?
from
Well,
eight from
yeah.
8-bit from 8-bit?
Well, yeah, but there could like what I'm saying is like the format, the way that the '90s style of Doom and Quake, and there hasn't really been any games that has used that same layout, but with a more polished graphics.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. They well, let's see. The thing is if you don't have somebody who loves the franchise, rebooting it or continuing it's a really bad idea. Now the
Yeah.
people over at Doom, I saw their remake, their reboot. They loved the game. They loved it. It is clear that they loved every frame of that game that they made. Okay, the new
Hmm.
people, the new Doom, the Doom 2 or whatever it is, whatever the new one is, I don't play it, but I've seen some of the footage. It looks like they're deliberately trying to provoke the SJWs. But from what I've heard from people who've actually played the game, they say it's kind of boring.
Are you sure
Yeah,
you're not thinking of Duke Nukem?
but
Oh, Duke
there's
Nukem. Oh God, yeah, that was.
there's one game that I personally want financial backing. I'm not even sponsored by these guys, and I gotta say, okay, is my mic working? Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
we
got
can
to
hear you.
say that the one that I usually play is Hellbound, which it has the feel of Quake and Doom, but it's not. It has the graphics because they're using the Unreal Engine,
Oh,
and it's free on Steam right now if you wanted to check it out.
oh, I may have to download that later. Try to remind me at the end of the stream. I can't do it right now
Yeah,
here. But
it's a survival FPS. You can also switch the camera to be over the shoulder.
now I'm a big
Over
And
on
the
first
shoulder boulder
person.
holder.
yeah, a lot of people choose the first person.
Over the
But
shoulder boulder holder.
yeah, you can
You
you
know what I
can get like
liked?
a
Um,
big mace.
you know what I loved? I
Hmm.
loved Marathon.
Yeah,
Marathon,
yeah,
Durandal, those were all good. There was I like it was very simple graphics. It wasn't that complicated. It was basically jumping puzzles, but they put a hell
hmm,
of a story into it. Like you
yeah.
can take something really shitty, and if you've got a great writer who's got a wonderful villain, you know, like I don't know if you guys
Oh,
played The Long Dark, but they made killing rabbits if you don't know what you're doing really difficult. And I was watching this one guy and I was trying to give him tips, and he was trying so hard to kill this stupid bunny. And he almost died from freezing to death, but he finally got it, and he like broke his neck, and he was like going, "Yes, I cannot believe. Yes, I have I've never enjoyed murdering a rabbit before so much." But oddly enough, because it was difficult, because it wasn't easy, that's what made it enjoyable. You know, it didn't have to be complicated. You can make a bunny rabbit make you emotionally engaged if you do it right. And I don't know why that seems to be beyond so many franchises today. It just
it's not. But currently, we are realizing that the bigger franchises have a pull on who's covering the small guys. You know. Like they have most of their money in the advertising and getting people to like it.
it seemed
And
I think they're losing their grip though, because
oh
Star
yeah,
Wars,
and
yeah.
that's why it's having the rise of these other ones. Like we're starting to see more independent companies rise up, which is good. I think I think that that's going to be newer possibilities for the gaming field. I'm personally wanting an MMO on the VR.
Yeah, I really want a good VR. I want a computer where I don't need a monitor. You know, I just have
I
the
want
stupid
some dot
gangles.
hack shit. I want some dot hack shit. Like, I would totally be a mage.
Oh,
I'd be like,
bullshit. You
guess
just
what?
want VR porn. Don't lie.
Nah, nah. MMOs would be
Honestly,
awesome.
eh, honestly, when it comes to porn, first person perspective really looks weird.
Yeah, unless of course like you had like some like I don't know. In that case, just get a fucking sex bot.
Oh well, that's that's coming up soon. But anyway, let's get to the topics. Amsterdam, terrorist motive alleged in attack on Americans. 2 guys got stabbed by, from the religion of peace.
Amsterdam, that guy got fucked up in Amsterdam. Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, I mean, they don't allow guns over there, so yeah, you're so safe from the knife stabbings. What's to say? I mean, I wanted to mention it because I know nobody else is talking about it. But, yeah, I mean, pretty much Amsterdam, that whole country's a shithole. It's really turning into a shithole.
Of course, no one's talking about it because, remember, they're trying to keep it quiet that the Muslims are bad.
Yeah, Muslims into nothing.
The odd thing is that by trying to cover it up, I think they've made it much worse. Because if you just came out and admitted, yeah, this guy was a Muslim, but he was a freak. Like, people would go, oh, okay, he was a Muslim, but he was a freak. Now they just come out and they don't talk about it at all. So if you don't talk about it, what does everybody go? Well, if they're covering it up, there must be something about it.
The Streisand effect.
Yeah. And, although somebody else came up with a good point. They're the religion that complains the most, so they're the ones, I guess, the media's the most afraid to talk about. Because, you can insult Christians all day long. They're not going to come and kill you. You don't hear about Christians going and killing a bunch of reporters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, somebody will beat somebody's ass. I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah, but you don't get a Charlie Hebdo.
Yeah.
Which
it's funny about Christianity where they say that they don't like gays and all this kind of stuff, but isn't one of their fundamental core things the other cheek?
Well, what is it along the lines of is they have the standing policy of hate the sin but not the sinner. And
tell that to the Salvation Army.
I mean, you get a lot of pushback from these people, but to be honest, then I deal with a lot of lower class people at my job when I'm trying to get them placement. I deal with Salvation Army. They're remarkably tolerant in person. Like, official position, we're not for gays. But when it comes to actual on-the-ground people, they're pretty open-minded.
I got some stories.
I'm not saying that's everybody, but...
No, I used to work for him, and there was even this one time where I was at Maroubra, and we were cleaning out the Citadel there. There was a shop around the corner where you could put donations and all this kind of shit, but for some reason they decided to put it at the Citadel, and every now and then we had to clean this place out. There's me and me offsider, and there's the fucking captain wasn't there, and was anybody else, and this woman came up, obviously disturbed and distressed, and because we had salvos written on our fucking shirt, she come up to me as if like fucking I was going to help her, and like, hang on, well, this obviously is beyond me, so I'll call back to my yard, and I fucking rang the switchboard and said, is Captain Price there? And nope. What about his wife? Yep, she's here. And I said, listen, there's a lady here, she's clearly distressed. I think you need to talk to her. And she goes, tell her to fuck off. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. That'll just get me into trouble. Like, she really needs some help. And, wait, I'm not going to help her. Oh, fucking, all right. So I had to try and explain to this lady, like, really polite, really, like, that fucking, she might want to go and seek some help somewhere else. And I don't know what the fuck happened to this woman. For all I know, she ended up dead in a ditch fucking an hour later. That's what they're like. Fucking fuck the salvos. They can go get fucked.
I can't speak for all of them. I can only speak for the local area, Central New York. And, don't get me wrong. There have been elsewhere in the state plenty of embezzlement. All right. So, there's not a lot of non-for-profits I trust, but the locals here seem to be okay. But
oh, yeah, the Red Shield appeal. Every year they have one day where they get shit tons of volunteers, dumb fucks who don't know what goes on in the salvos. They go out and they get donations. And the first year I was with the salvos, they made $44 million in one day, and $4 million of that was profit. And then they had a national drive over a full week for a bushfire that we had to support the victims. They only made $1 million over that full week. Get fucked.
Yeah, it's amazing how much money gets eaten up by overhead. In
Whatever.
my opinion, the minute the
Doing it.
government starts helping out these non-for-profits, that's when they all get corrupt. When the
Mm.
non-for-profit isn't getting money from the government and it's run by people and they have to watch their money and they suddenly get a lot more responsible. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, but overhead bullshit. Like they were getting volunteers to go and fucking like school kids and fucking any bastard with half of a fucking heart to go out and fucking solicit fucking donations for these people, and fucking they could only scrounge $1 million out of a full fucking week. Get fucked.
Oh well, no, you understand. They got to pay the people who are recruiting. If you're going through a job through one of these professional for profit, donation collecting places, those guys
But
are
then there's
just
the
so rotten.
there's the best one though, which was during Christmas time, and I've seen this a couple of times. That they'd fucking have all these corporate centres in the city that have these toy drives and presents up, and they're brand new toys too. They're like full on like there were these at the time. Like one example was Polaroid had these kids cameras that spat out a little instant photo, and you could do fucking all sorts of funny things like put horns on your head and shit like Instagram fucking whatsies. Um, and they were buying those things like so $100, $100 toys and shit like that. So it wasn't cheap like a bag of fucking toy soldiers or anything like that for $2.50. And they were getting them to wrap them and put cards on them saying for boy or girl of whatever age. And they were told to put them in giant orange garbage bags, not the normal stuff that normal people would put them in. And when the city truck came in from their run, there's the fucking captain standing at the end of the dock, rightio, all those orange garbage bags, take them up the back to Who Flung Dung and Yee, the Asian girls up the back. And here's these Asian girls unwrapping all the presents and putting fucking price tags on them.
They just turned around and resold them. Wow. Anyway,
Fucking oath, they did.
well, let's move on to some fun stuff with fish tanks. Body found in fish tank is missing man's in missing man. Well, sorry, this is body found in fish tank in missing man's San Francisco home. Sorry, only in California. Officer found human remains in a fish tank inside the home of a man who was reported missing weeks ago.
Fuck the bloke. What about the fish?
There were no
What happened to
signs
the
of
fish?
foul play. What the? How big was this fish tank? Is what I want to know.
This wasn't in Florida.
No, this is
No.
San Francisco. This is California. All the really weird shit is moving to
Exactly.
California now.
I'm unsure how I should feel about this now.
Maybe his name was Ed. Maybe the fish were into eggs.
Because
They want
you
to
want to, with all the Florida man news, you want to go away from there. But then there's California news, and you're like, well, fuck.
California is it's eclipsing Florida man. Florida man is dumb. Okay, and he does stupid things, but California is truly is not going beyond dumb to downright, suicidal, crazy. They want to destroy their state. There's no other explanation. They're just trying to. But stuff like this, I mean, there's not a lot of details, but they just found him stuffed in a fish tank. Like, what I'm wondering why is it took so many weeks to find him?
Well, it says it in the article that, like, well, he was a missing person, and the cops don't generally kick your door down if you're a missing person. And I don't know, maybe the smell got to the neighbours, and there's a funny smell coming from the house. Maybe you should kick.
Oh, I get your point. Maybe it took this long for them to just even get the warrant. Gotcha. All right, well, I just thought this was weird and thought it needed to be mentioned.
Not so much the warrant, just probable cause. There's a funny smell coming from the house. This guy's missing. Maybe he's dead inside. Kick the door in.
Well, I wouldn't say that would be complete probable cause to kick the door in.
Well, I guess I don't know how it would be over in California, but I do know here in New York State that if you have reasonable belief that there is somebody in danger or, a dead body, the cops can kick down your door. If you don't find the dead body, expect any evidence you find to get thrown out. So if you kick
Well,
down a door saying, I thought I heard somebody scream, whatever you find, it better be out in the open. If you got to open a drawer or open a book, it's going to get thrown out,
Well, where I say kick down a door, I should have actually termed that as forcible entry. And forcible entry can mean anything from kicking down a door, breaking in a window, or if you have those funny little twisty fucking like even there's a spring-loaded version of this. Those twist lock thingies that you twist it around and it locks the window in. You can drill a little hole through the window frame itself, and then push a little bit of toothpick or a match, and then just unlock it that way, and then slide the window up, and the place can still be secured and all this kind of stuff, and you're not actually causing any damage. There are ways you can get into a house without fucking the place up. Just depends on the emergency. But it's way easier to get the fucking door in.
Oh, well. Anything else on this before moving on to In and Out? In California, there is a burger place called In and Out. They sell burgers, and I assume it's because you go in, get your burger, and go out. And apparently, because In and Out donated $25,000 to the GOP, the California Democratic Party called for a boycott, and it has ended spectacularly bad. Like, even a lot of Democrats are just going, yeah, screw it, I'm going to go and get my freaking burger because I don't care. But, attacking a private business just because of their donation to your enemy, that's really bad. It's really bad optics. People are really going after the Democrats on this.
I've heard of this restaurant, and guess what? These people are, capitalism, where they actually take care of their workers, and they can do something on an industrial level, but they're paying their workers for their time, and they're paying them well enough for them to do that job.
Oh,
that's I give them respect for that, because there's not a lot of companies that do that anymore.
Honestly, when the companies that I worked for, and I worked for quite a number over the years, were run by a guy who was capitalistic, we were well taken care of. Because he knew he could save so much money with little perks. Like, if, hey, we're buying you lunch once a week or stuff like that. Here's free coffee, just showing you with respect is cheap.
Exactly.
But they would treat you well. But whenever we got bought out by a corporation, these freaky socialists would take over from HR department, and they'd run the place into the ground. They've done that at my other job. We have new hires come on. They go through the 6 weeks of training. They go on the job for 2 to 3 weeks, and then they quit because they're treated like crap.
Oh no! Even as a truck driver, you can see that kind of stuff between different companies. Like I've gone to places where, and the worst ones are the ones that fucking hired fucking mentally disabled people because they're doing shitty mundane tasks that normal people wouldn't want to do, and they're only doing it just so as they can get a subsidy from the government, and they're treating the people with Down syndrome and shit like that like crap. They're underpaying them and getting paid by the government, and then you rock up to those jobs, and they treat you like, oh, you're scum too. It's like, get fucked, asshole. But
I know a couple of people that are deaf that can work fucking factory jobs better than half of the people that I've known that can work factory jobs.
I don't think he's talking about the physically disabled, because usually I think he's talking about the ones that are not mentally competent.
Oh yeah, the ones that just don't want to be there. Yeah.
But they're the worst, though. They're the worst of them. But you go to some of the companies that they look after their employees, and they look after their customers. And then when you go there as a truck driver, you might only go there once, but they're like, oh, the storeman's just off on lunch at the moment. But the coffee room's over there and all this. Would you like a glass of water or something like that? They want to look after you as a truck driver, and you're just some fucking random bloke that's just delivering their shit. Most people don't give a fuck about that, but the really good companies are like, It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
no,
should
no, it's
feel
okay,
more
man. I'm
I'm
pride.
comfortable.
sorry. When socialists take over, your company goes to shit. It does.
Mm.
But at any rate,
But
uh, uh,
the
But I guess,
company
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
the
yeah,
the companies need to look more into the way that like if you're looking after your workers and you're looking after everybody that's in that company, you're shaking hands with everybody.
yeah,
That's the way that you gotta be. Like, you know,
yeah. Yeah, well, that's the
you,
way I used to see it with those guys who used to try and suck up to me, and like in those kinds of companies. And it's like, well, I might only deliver here once, but there might be one day where they might need to get something out urgently, and they might want me to do that, and they might be the one that comes up to me and says, "Dude, we've got this really, you really need to take care of this. Can you, and you want to go the extra mile for those guys."
yeah.
At any rate, speaking the extra mile,
Mhm.
Chelsea Handler is working on a new funny network series about white privilege.
Is this the Sheila that had a big spiel about her shitting herself at some fucking um, Sheila? She got drunk and shat herself.
Pretty much. I believe this one is also the one where it's going to be about toxic masculinity in gaming. Where basically I think the plot line is going to be she's a woman in professional gaming who's going to get blacklisted. How you get blacklisted out of professional gaming is beyond me, especially if you're a woman, because I've seen Twitch, and the most successful streamers are girls who couldn't play worth a crap, but they've got a low cut blouse. And, but she's going to come back and play as a man. So,
What do they call them? Titty streamers or something like
yeah,
that.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
titty streamers. But this is just going to be pure 100% political correctness crap. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is because I don't want people to watch it, but B, I don't want people like really talking about it. Because I think the best thing
But
we could
isn't
do is not even raise controversy. It doesn't even deserve a review about how bad it is. You know what I'm saying?
but isn't this Sheila another one that did a big long fucking comedy spiel about how many dicks she sucked or something like that?
Yeah. But you know what? It's weird. Like, a man. I mean, people don't exactly go, hey, you slept with 50 women, you're great. But, there's some amount of status to it because obviously you've got to have some skill to be able to actually bed 50 women. But when a woman says, I've slept with 50 guys, I'm sorry, but this is going to be sexist, but you really just have to show up. If you're a woman and you look
Yeah.
really good, you just have to show up and you don't really have to work at it. I've very rarely seen a beautiful woman have to seduce a man. Like, or if,
Oh
Confused.
Jesus! Out here, you got fucking fat, ugly. I call them moo cows because they're just basically fucking dirty, grapey heifers. And like most of the fucking moo cows around here are fucking married. So yeah, you don't even have to be a good sort. Any hole's a practice hole.
well,
Confucius say, key that opens many locks is a master key.
Yeah.
But lock that is opened by many keys is a shitty lock.
Very good, Confucius.
I gotcha. No, what was?
And he who go to bed with sexual problem will wake up with solution in hand.
He who stick a penis in peanut butter is fucking nuts.
Oh
That's
no!
awful.
While I remember, here's a massive fucking groaner I saw on an electric signboard on the top of a fucking paint factory of all places. All right, every year, hundreds of children go off to mime school to be never heard from again.
Oh, oh,
Yep,
that's
I
awful.
groaned. I looked at that. I was like, okay, hang on. Ah, no, fuck, that's wrong. Oh, that's bad. Oh, fuck. I groan. Yeah.
Any rate, I had a point. It seems to be. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems to be that there's a lot of women who are starting to, I don't know, use that as like a status thing, like to show off. To like, I've got to be alpha female, and show up other women. It's like yeah, I don't know about you, but if a woman is actually pretty decent looking and she's homeless on the street, she won't stay homeless very long. I mean, that's man. On the other hand, you could be damn handsome, but if you've got no money and no resources and nothing, yeah, you're staying on that street. Like,
But no matter which way you put it, though, it's sort of like the females pretty much having a submissive part to a sexual relationship. Yes, yes, yes. I'm a massive slut, and I fuck 50 blokes. Yeah, you let 50 guys fuck you. You let 50 guys have their way with you, and all this. Now, it'd be different if they bragged about, I put a strap on and went through 50 guys. That's a different story.
Yes.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you have to have some high charisma.
that would be impressive. If a woman came out and said I pegged 50 guys, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, slow clap on that one. Okay, because
Yeah,
you've got
that's
some
like goddamn.
not
You're a
impressive to
bloody
me,
message.
but
You just went to a
Yeah.
gay club and the gays weren't totally gay.
But still, that would have been impressive though. 50? Do you realize how how are we saying, like, are they on an assembly line and you're like literally going at every one of them like hour per hour, like
no, we're just saying
No,
like
that
it's like a
that'd be
tally
some.
over time. You know, like keeping
Uh,
score.
I was
I,
about
I'm
to
more,
say
I'm
that'd
more
be
get,
some endurance.
I'm more get, I'm more getting the impression it's the elephant scene from the Brothers Grimsby.
Ouch.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Well, speaking of the elephant in the room, Justice Department sides with Asian Americans suing Harvard over admissions policy. I don't know if you know about this, but a bunch of Asians came out and said, "Hey, you're
Not
deliberately
sexy.
discriminating against us because there's too many of us in your college and you need more minorities." And apparently, like, I believe actually Trump came down and told the DOJ, kind of whispered in somebody's ear and said, "Dude, you know which side I want you coming down on this." So apparently the Department of Justice is backing up this lawsuit.
Okay, now this actually goes against the fucking stereotype because the whole stereotype about Asians is they're supposed to be ridiculously academically smart, and even in Silicon, supposed to be ridiculously academically smart, and they're not a minority; they're the majority. Now, if Harvard, for fuck's sake, has too many slapheads, shouldn't that be like, "Yay, we're smartest"? What
No,
the fuck? No, but
apparently they don't.
we're too overrepresented. So that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Well, basically here's the logic. In Harvard, it's like Asians are just too successful. So we need to bump them in order to, have more, I don't know, foreign nationals come in. Because I believe, what is it? It's almost like 15% of their classes are actually people who aren't American. It's pretty bizarre.
I know, I know. This all comes down to pussy. All the Asian blokes in the place are going, "Oh, where are all the white women at? Oh."
That might be the case. I don't know if it's actually, but they might be just discriminating against against the Asian men. It wouldn't surprise me, you know. But I think we're starting to see cracks in the wall. I mean, it's going to start here and then it's going to filter down because if this gets through, then you're going to see a whole bunch of other lawsuits going, yeah, and I'm white and they discriminated against me. I'm whatever and they discriminated against me. So I think this is going to go somewhere, but we got to wait and see. I think we're finally starting to turn that corner. I'm hoping.
Or is this the you people argument? Oh, you let me in because I'm Asian. You think I'm just because I'm Asian. I'm super smart. Well, your academic fucking record says yes. Oh, yes, you Asians are very smart by capita. Oh, what do you mean, you Asians? Oh, fuck off.
Well, actually, if you do the IQ testing, yeah, in America at least, whites are like third. It's Jews and Asians and then whites. Or it might be, yeah, I think it's Jew, Asian, white. But it's pretty close between Jews and Asians. Anyway, moving on.
Asian.
Let's have something.
An Asian Jew master race.
Don't name the Jew like Patrick Little.
Ireland seeks church reparation for mass baby burials. apparently there was an orphanage where women in Ireland could go and, give up their children for abortion. And the nuns' methodology of solving the problem of not being able to find enough homes was to drag them out into the North 40, bash their heads in with a rock, and then hide them in a sewer complex.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah, I heard about this. It wasn't that convoluted. They'd just take them out the back of the fucking thing and just bury them in the backyard. It was as simple as that.
Oh, I thought.
They actually did. They've actually done excavations and found like heaps of corpses and shit.
Yeah, and apparently they'd like the church to actually pay for this since it was all nuns. But when I read about this, I was along the lines of, what the hell? I mean, what had to happen there for a bunch of nuns to get to the point where it was okay to do this to 796 babies?
Yeah, but you also got to remember this was like the 1800s and shit like that.
No,
and
no,
life wasn't
no.
all that
This
much of a
is
premium.
1961.
Huh.
Yeah, this was closed. The orphanage was closed in 1961. This is only 30, 40 years. This no, we're doing like 50 years ago.
Yeah, well, 1960s there was a school in Parramatta that had displaced Aboriginal children that had a rape dungeon underneath it. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm just it. I mean, but the thing is that bothers me is I heard of this from somebody else. This wasn't even something that came up in my news feed. This is something that somebody had to track down and send to me. This isn't like an old article.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I heard about this several years ago.
Oh yes,
and
but
didn't give a shit about it then.
but the reparations thing, the church turning down paying for it.
Yeah, no,
that didn't even pop up.
That was a thing.
Have you noticed that a lot of this type of stuff with the church, they usually always try and sweep things under the rug, but if it's something like oh well, this is going to be broken down to create something new there. No, we can't have that happen.
I don't know. It's just such. It's I don't know.
I
don't know where it is in the rest of the world, but here, politics is pushing out all other news. Everything is pushed out except for Trump. Really, it's so hard to get anything in the news that at some point there isn't a half hour that goes by where you don't see something about Trump. And it's just shut up about him. Shut up about him. No one cares. Shut up.
Oh, did you hear about the Australian political spill that we had in the last week or so?
No, I missed that one.
We got a new Prime Minister. Turncoat is out, and we've now got Scott Morrison, who is a bit dubious as well. But on the good side, we've got rid of fucking Julie Bishop, who was a complete disappointment. And she said that she didn't want to work as another second in command to another man. And guess what? She's out of a job.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the sign that things are finally starting to turn around, that we're finally starting to get some sanity back. But I think we got a long road to go.
Now, she's a major disappointment because unlike Julia Gillard, she spoke eloquently, well-dressed, and she seemed to have a head on her shoulders. And then when that fucking Malaysian Airlines flight got shot down over the Ukraine, she did the dumbest fucking thing on the planet. And we're going to make Russia accountable. You fucking idiot. There was a Russian space station that crashed in the outback in the 1970s that we fined Russia. We sent them a fine. And they still haven't fucking paid that. As if we're going to make Russia accountable for something, especially something they didn't even do. But this is also the stupid cow that fucking jumped up a few months ago and said, we're going to support France and Britain and America when they're going to bomb fucking Bashar al-Assad. You mean you're siding with ISIS now? I mean, you're siding with Daesh? You stupid fucking idiot woman. Shut the fuck up. Get out of politics.
My biggest hope is that we just stay the hell out.
Yeah, no. Seriously, Syria. Syria is Russia's turn. Like we've had our go over the last fucking almost 20 years now. We've or Afghanistan and fucking Iraq, right? Now, fucking ISIS is still in Iraq and ISIS is still in Syria. Fucking Russia's gone, hold my vodka. Fucking let them go. Let them do it. This is how it's supposed to be done. Let them fucking do it. What we need to do is turn a blind eye and let Russia do their work. And they've already done a lot. So just let them finish the job, which they're doing. Don't get in their way. Don't put fucking no-fly zones in fucking stupid bullshit like what Hillary did. Don't fucking bomb fucking Bashar al-Assad because of these fuckwit moderates, because all these moderates are is ISIS light. Can't believe it's not ISIS. That's all these fuckers are.
Anyway, anything else on this real quick?
Nah.
All right, I didn't get to talk about this last week because it happened on Sunday. We broadcast on Saturday-ish. Yeah, there was that shooting at the video game tournament. To be honest, not a lot has developed on it. 2 dead, 11 wounded. It was stupid as hell.
Oh yeah.
It was a gun-free zone, so how did you get a gun there? Gasp and choke. But I think the real problem is that for a brief period there, they were trying to push the old violent video game narrative, but it's along the lines of it's football. It's not a real video game, in my opinion. It's Madden. Okay, it's if you're going to say that causes violence, then you're insulting the NFL. You know that, right?
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to say that Madden is a violent video game, then about the hundreds of millions of people that watch the NFL. That's an actual real game.
Oh, I think they briefly were hoping it was going to go that direction, and then I think what happened is the NFL called up, CNN and said, "We give you millions of dollars in ad revenue," and then suddenly CNN shut the hell up.
Hey, CNN, those rights we give you for the Super Bowl? Yeah, we're looking at everybody else now. We're going to go to YouTube. Oh, fuck. No, like, didn't the shooter look like a junkie version of Ben Stiller?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about other than this was just kind of stupid. I mean, somebody snapped. That's what happened. This is just, he's crazy.
No, he did say it looked like he was strung out, though. Like, you look at the guy, he looks like he's junkie Ben Stiller.
He was...
But, yeah, no, it did come out, though, that he did have a lot of mental health issues and all this kind of stuff, so...
So he was a leftist?
Yeah.
Well, probably. He was insane. But anyway. Speaking of crazy...
For all I know, he was probably transitioning.
Well, speaking of crazy, remember Will Wheaton came out and said, I'm going to quit from Twitter unless they ban, somebody. I forget who it was. Well, he moved...
Alex Jones.
Yeah, he moved over to Mastodon, which is like a left-leaning version of Twitter, and they banned him. Because...
But that's not surprising, because he does play a fuckwit really, really well. A little bit too well. It's sort of kind of like the guy who does that, the manly man that goes, I'll feral, and that just sounds too good to, Yeah, you sound too good doing that, Sunshine. Like, I bet you Saturday night you're in some gay club going, I'll feral. Like Will Wheaton's a bit the same. He plays the fuckwit too well. He just seems like a real fuckwit. And I don't know. I've never met the bloke in real life, and like I have seen things that dictate the contrary. But like I just gather that in real life he'd be a massive fuckwit.
No, he was.
So I'm not surprised.
I met him right after Star Trek Next Generation had ended, or he had ended being on the show. And before his TV career took off, I briefly met him with some of the other people when we were working at Sterling State Fair. And he got rip-roaring drunk, hit on every woman. They all got horribly offended. He was incredibly an asshole. And when he passed out, we locked him in a porta-john. And I have no idea how he got out. But this is back before he became like famous again, back on all those TV shows for playing the asshole.
Yeah, but you see, like playing on the Big Bang Theory and like where he's trolling fucking Sheldon, and that's that smart ass fucking ha ha ha, what you gonna do about it? I'm Will Wheaton kind of fucking. He just seems like that seems to me how you actually carry on in real
This
life,
is this
and
is making me think that this whole thing that he's doing with Mastodon is just to draw attention so people remember him. There's no such
yeah
thing as bad publicity. If you're forgotten, that's bad. So,
yeah.
but
Well, Big Bang Theory is about to end too, so he needs to do something.
at any rate, moving on. Mark Hamill doesn't understand why Luke gave up in Star Wars, and he brings it up again. And you want to
And
know what? I hope he keeps bringing it up.
yep, and I'm fucking right there with him because fucking yeah, like the argument is there. Like I for some reason for the last couple of days I've been watching all these critiques on the Last Jedi, and the same thing has been popping up. Like Luke's been like, well, Mark Hamill's been going on about, but fucking Luke Skywalker, he damn near went on a suicide mission to save his father, the second evilest bloke in the fucking universe, and he saw the good in him. How would he fucking turn on just a thought for fucking this little monkey and then just give the fuck
I
up?
mean, I
You
know what
know,
happened
like
behind the scenes. There was a different director before Brian took
yeah,
over,
Brian.
and his script is what got Mark Hamill to sign on. But when that director left, Ryan wrote an entirely new script, didn't even look at the other notes, just wrote an entirely new script, and, you know,
Well, that's obvious.
and Mark Hamill said, I'm under contract, so I have to do this shit, but what the fuck? And
Well, actually,
everything Ryan
Mark
did
Hamill,
was to subvert expectations, to do what you're not expecting. Well, guess what? there was about halfway through, it was going, you're going to do the exact opposite of everything that's intelligent, aren't you? Like,
well, Mark Hamill's version was that when they approached him for the Force Awakens was that oh nah, this is a new generation and like my story's come to a close and it's their time now, so if Harrison fucking gets involved, well then I suppose. And then when Harrison said yes, he said to his wife, well, I'm conscripted.
yeah, it's sad. I mean, I'm hoping that the new guy who's taking no, actually, you know what? What I hope is that it burns
It's
to the
JJ.
ground. I want it to die. I want Star Wars to die. I want it to burn to the
No,
ground.
there is
We can save
way
it in
they
20 years.
can save this. No, there is
I
one way
don't
they
want
can
them to.
save this, and no. Ryan Johnson fucked up hard, and this is the way that they can save this. Luke didn't die because when he vanished, his hand disappeared too. And afterwards, the dice was still there for fucking what's his flaps, fucking emo Vader to fucking pick it up and look at it, and then that vanished, right? How could his hand vanish if he died and went to the Force Ghost? How did the dice still be there? I'm saying, right, and this is the way they can fix it. I'm saying that fucking Luke was such a badass fucking Jedi and he didn't really know his powers. He did a Rocky and Bullwinkle. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Again! Look, nothing up my sleeve. Ooh, presto. Ooh, don't know my own strength. Fucking, he was fucking astro projecting so fucking hard that he actually teleported to a fucking to fucking Dagobah or something like that. And he's now sitting on Dagobah going, all right, when are they going to come pick me up? That explains the hand and that explains the dice.
It doesn't
That's how they
explain
can
the
write their
clothes.
way out of that shit.
It doesn't explain the clothes settling.
The what?
He teleported
No, no,
naked and he left his clothes
no.
behind.
They chuck in the Terminator thing. Only fucking humans can go through. Disregard the fact that the T1000 and the TX
I see
fucking
where
did
you're
the same
trying
thing.
to go, and you know what? But I
He's
don't
sitting on
care.
Dagobah in the nude.
I,
He's sitting on Dagobah in the nude, shivering his ass off, going, "Come on, someone, bring me a fucking jacket."
they would have to do
And
something that was. See, the problem is I don't want him to be uber powerful and be able to do anything by just blinking. Okay.
but that's the thing, though. But that's the thing. In the extended universe, there is a battle where he's. I can't remember where he is, whether he's on a planet or a fucking asteroid, but he's literally mind fucking Jedi mind tricking fucking, like, he's just waving fucking Star Destroyers into the atmosphere and fucking vaporizing him that way. He's supposed to be that fucking powerful. And that's what fans are like, what? He did a mind trick and that killed him? What the fuck?
You know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to keep him alive. You know, I mean, but I'm sorry.
But they've already come out and said they've already come out and said he's a Force ghost, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I hate to say it, I just don't care. I don't even hate them. That's the problem. I don't even hate anymore. I just don't care.
The only thing that shits me about the fandom is that they're trying to push for Han Solo to come back as a Force ghost. And when was he Force sensitive? When did non-Force sensitive people come back as ghosts?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just a big, huge mess. What Brian Johnson did just is a huge mess. You know what I want to see? You want to know how they could save it for me? What I want to see them to do is for in the opening scenes of the next movie, the Empire is sitting there. Their ships have all been devastated. And they go, how the hell did she use going light speed to destroy our ships? And then they figure it out. And then a couple of years later, you find out that everybody has been using light speed. It's something to do with modifying, I don't know, the gravity, artificial gravity to keep the ship in real space when it jumps to light speed. Because if you could do that, you could detonate stars. If you shot like a whole, you could have one of these go through a star, it would cause a supernova just from the compression alone. And so suddenly you've got like 10% of the galaxy has been supernovaed, like half the planets have all been destroyed. As everybody, everywhere who's got a grudge on anybody, picks up a ship, figures out how to light speed it through a planet, puts a hole in the core of the planet, like destroys, like a true Star War. Like it's just gone full on Armageddon. Everybody's murdering each other by the billions. Like then I'd be like, holy fuck. Like you certainly went somewhere.
That's the problem that a lot of fans have got, because like that just negates the whole point of having the Death Star 1, 2, and Starkiller Base. Why have something that can destroy planets that's fucking big? Because, and the biggest gripe that a lot of fans have got, and same thing with me too, is that like physics and all that kind of stuff dictate that like you didn't need the Ratus to do that. You could have used an X-Wing to do that, because an X-Wing is light speed capable, and mass doesn't mean shit. It's kinetic energy. The kinetic energy going at light speed, doesn't matter how small or how big it is, can cause catastrophic damage. And
no, I mean,
when they wrote Holdo, it's like, oh, this is the epic fucking maneuver. No, she was a stupid bitch that was doing stupid. And in the throes of being a hormonal fucking dumb shit fucking slutbag, she fucking, after killing just about everybody, which she could have done this with a smaller ship, like the Nebula B crew, the frigate.
Oh yeah.
The second last one that got blown up. That they could have turned that around, put a droid at the fucking helm, and took everybody off it, and then fucking boom, off they go, fucking bang, taking out half that fucking fleet. But even still, like the whole point of fucking,
I just want to see them live with it.
Stuff.
That would gas me to watch the next movie if they left with that development, like the rebels. That's why she couldn't tell him, what's his name, the plan, because their plan was probably like freaking insane. Like, we figured out how to weaponize light speed, and I can't tell you because if anybody finds out, we're fucked. Like Geneva Convention level, nobody's supposed to do this. And if they just lived with it and ran with it, but they're not going to.
That's even dumber, though. That's even dumber, because that just basically means that Holdo fucking wanted to kill most of everybody. Remember, there's like only 12 rebels left at the end of that fucking movie. Oh, no, I'm not saying it was a good
plan, but...
She let everybody die before she used her massive major plan.
The thing is that like there's a plot device called the idiot ball. It's invisible, and you give it to somebody as a writer, and they become an idiot. And then the plot is advanced because of how stupid they are. And the idiot ball was just bound. There was like a dozen idiot balls in that movie. That's the problem. Everything was developed by stupidity.
Yeah, there's arcing fire with photons. Okie dokie.
You want
The
to jump
first
on?
line of the first line of the movie was some dickhead running around the rebel base going, "Load up the cannon shells." Ha! What? Huh?
Okay, I'm back.
Cannons?
Sorry.
What the fuck? Cannons? Huh?
Welcome back. But Cabbage, the link's in the Discord if you need it. I think I actually sent you one on Discord. Yeah, I mean, we're retreading old things, but the only way that if they lived with the stupidity and took it to its logical conclusion, I might be curious to actually see where it goes. But the fact of the matter is, whoever's the next director is going to try to ignore the second movie. Yeah, he's going to try and ignore it. You know it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but you've now wasted my time.
Well, that was part of Disney's and Kathleen Kennedy's fault because, like, JJ had a three series script, and fucking Ryan Johnson decided to just ignore the thing and just went with his own. And this is what I think the fans want. What fucking fans? You're not a fucking Star Wars fan, are you? Well, no. It's just Ghostbusters 2016.
Well, we need a couple of more dead franchises before they finally learn their lesson, in my opinion. Anyway, moving on.
No. They got it. They got it with Solo. Where they had theaters that were having their premiere, thing where normally there should be cunts around the block. They had like fucking 12 people in the fucking theater.
No, I'm with you, but I don't think they've quite learned their lesson yet. They haven't. They're going to, but they haven't quite learned the lesson yet. They're just taking a step back, saying we went too far. We need to be more subtle. They didn't realize, no, it doesn't matter how subtle you are. Nobody likes you. Take your ball and go home. But anyway, speaking of nobody likes you, modern scarecrows use lasers to keep hungry birds at bay. Apparently, they have developed a new process where they track and zap birds with green lasers to make them fly away from their, berries and shit when you've got a field full of food.
I want scarecrows with freaking laser beams.
That was what I thought. I want the freaking scarecrows. They have freaking lasers on top of their heads.
I want Wurzel Gummidge with a freaking laser beam. Come on, Cabbage, you'd know that reference.
I'm afraid PETA wouldn't let us put lasers on top of scarecrows. We had to use mutated bass. Well, just thought it was worth mentioning. Moving on to sex robot porn. Yes, the world's first sex robot porn movie hits screens as stars reveal this is the future of porn.
Actually, I just figured out on fucking Pornhub last night that there are a plethora of videos where there are like girl dolls where people like to fuck them.
I think that this is a movie by the definition of an adult entertainment, not a, 30-minute clip. So it would technically have to be like, I think over 60 minutes for porn.
So they're going to have like a Caligula thing going on?
That would be funny.
He fucks his sister.
That would be funny.
He fucks his mother and his sister.
No, the 70s film Caligula. Wasn't it 70s?
Yeah, it started Martin McDowell. I gotta admit, like, that guy was just... It was a porn, but dear God, he scared the ever-shiving lit out of me. If all of Rome had only but one neck. Like, holy crap, that shit. That guy, it sticks with you. I mean, it was like, yes, it clearly was a porn, but Martin McDowell is like the scariest... There's a reason why he was in A Clockwork Orange. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Although I'm looking at these sex robots and I'm just terrified. Like, that is uncanny valley shit. But yeah, I'm.
What would but would you bang them?
Nope, not even close.
No.
They're just. I look at that and it just kind of makes me like wanna burn it.
But what if it gets to the point What if it
It's
gets to the point that the sex bot is so realistic that they have to tell you that they're a sex bot?
well, it kind of is almost like that because there's supposed to be like the sex bots that they're trying to make. You got to try and feel them up and romance and wine dine 69 the brain things before you can get in them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. Remember that toy Bop It, where you gotta flick it, twist it, pull it, squeeze it, press it. You know.
I'm I'm more thinking more Five Nights at Freddy's Spring. If it doesn't like you, it'll just clamp your cock off.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing that. See, that's why it kind of freaks me out. It's like, yeah, wait until like HAL 9000 gets inside one of these.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stop doing that, Dave. You don't know what you're doing.
Speaking of don't know
Ouch,
what you're
Dave.
doing,
That's the wrong hole, Dave.
more California fun. A sprinting naked man leads LA police on lengthy pursuit. A naked man who sprinted with Los Angeles police officers running after him and a police helicopter overhead is in custody after a lengthy chase.
But was he greased up? Naked grease guy?
Yeah, I mean, it probably made it really hard to grab him. But yeah, if I was going to run around naked in front of cops, I'd want to be greased up.
I'm running around. I'm running around. I'm all greased up. You can't catch me.
But this is where LA, San Francisco, California's going. Everybody's going insane. Everybody. And this is it. This is the
Did he
future.
shit in the street though? Did he shit in the street?
It doesn't say, but I suspect that that would be a deterrent if he was running around. He just started crapping himself as he was running away. Because if I was a cop, I'd be like, no, he can get away. He can I'm already got a problem grabbing a naked man running, but he's shitting himself as he runs. He can escape. I'm good with that. Right
Yeah,
now.
maybe he saw the Paula Yates video and thought, yeah, don't wear undies because then you have to pull it to one side and go, and then run.
Yep.
No, no,
Explosive
Paula Yates.
diarrhea.
Hey,
Cabbage
Cabbage,
is
how's it
on.
going?
You know Paula Yates.
Hey, how are you guys?
Now this one,
You know Paula Yates, don't you?
we're coming back.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that. That was the London Marathon, wasn't it? When she took a shit on
Yeah.
the street.
Shot,
Yeah, she's just running along and then she stops,
diarrhea.
pulls to one side, and then just keeps going.
That is some dedication.
Yeah, well, you see, think about it.
Shot-
She dropped some weight, so she's going to be quicker. Smart move. It was sort of like,
Eject ballast.
yeah, exactly. It's like throwing sand over the side of the balloon.
Well, back to in New York, however, over in Pittsford, a supermarket shopper shocked by surprise when snake was found in her cart. Yep, woman was shopping for groceries and she found a snake on her shopping cart while picking out produce in New York. There are very few snakes in New York State. So, like...
And here's the Australian going, wow, whoopee fucking do. She found it. Wow.
I mean, it was just a milk
shopper
snake, to be honest. Those things are pretty
by snake.
That's what I mean. Wow.
Yeah, no,
Come and
but
fucking
say
sit
that-
when it's a red or brown or a fucking
But-
or a taipan or something
the
like
word
that. Yeah.
play-
Australians
that,
wake
though.
up with black mambas on their chests.
The word play with that though. Supermarket shopper shocked by snake in shopping cart.
It's nice alliteration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, here's what made
Shopper
it...
shocked by snake and schmuck. This should be in Dutch.
This is what...
Supermarket shopper shocked by snake in shopping cart.
Try and say that 3 times fast. What made it stand out to me was this was from the Rochester Democrat Chronicle. Okay, this is from a newspaper that calls itself the Democrat and Chronicle, so you'd know it's left leaning.
Making a waffle.
Like this is, I tried to find the original article because I want to see what they actually wrote down, but I'm betting it's like, oh, think about the womans. We got to do something about the snakes because like womans problems and
Wow.
Hang on. If you look closely, I have a concerto of every Australian playing the smallest fucking violins in the world just for her.
We got to think about the whammons.
Yeah, always the whams.
And we got women over here who are like, and He
Yeah.
found a snake.
Yeah.
Whoop-de
I got a-
fucking
Speaking
do.
of
I got a girl that
Wham,
I'm looking at right now that would pick up a snake and be like, "Hey, look, babe, I got a snake."
Oh, I did that. Oh,
Yeah.
it was in New Jersey though. Don't they have copperheads up there or something?
My fucking asshole
Thanks,
neighbour
Copperhead.
does that to me. He puts snakes at my back door, so when I get home, he thinks that I'm going to go, oh, fucking freak out. And like, it's a snake, dickhead.
well,
Yeah.
speaking of
Well, then they just stay there. What are they? Pets? Does he train them? Sit.
Yeah, no, they're dead. No, they're dead when he does it. It's sort of like, what are you doing? He goes, ha ha ha, did you see what I dropped on? You dropped that back doorstep. And I'm like, yeah, dickhead. It's fuck.
I knew.
Huh?
Hold on.
You killed a
Put
snake,
gardener
you
in his
asshole.
fucking boot.
Well, hold on. Moving on here. Moving on. Speaking of Wham, sheep shock. Teenage boy rushed to hospital after being hit by falling sheep while hiking in the Slavov Mountains. Yes.
I so thought.
Holy shit!
This was
We go
gonna
from
be-
drop beds to fucking drop sheep now.
I
Fucking
missed
hell.
this one. This is
Oh,
like
I
in
so
this
thought-
is in August, like 18th.
No. This is the funniest thing. I thought it was fucking New Zealand. I had to read it, and it was in Ireland.
Yes, in Ireland,
Oh,
where men are real
yeah.
men and sheep are real scared. But like apparently, I want to know what
Well,
that
sheep
sheep
are-
was trying to get away
sheep
from.
are-
Like that she was like
Sheep are
jumping.
classified
The
as a
sheep
leisure
was
centre.
originally running from the Scottish, and then the Irish were like, "Hey, you can come over here, but you're paying rent with that."
Yeah, maybe we can come to an agreement.
Yeah.
You know why Kiwis fuck sheep on at the edges of cliffs? It's so they buck harder.
That's right.
You know what the New Zealand woman said to her husband? Ah.
Ouch.
You know
Well, you
why
think-
Kiwis wear Velcro gloves?
So they can
So they
keep
can
hold.
grip harder.
Yeah, we got all the same jokes, but for the Welsh over here. So what was a sheep called tied to a lamppost
What?
in Wales? A leisure
All right.
centre.
There's
Oh no, a
blonde-
brothel. Sorry.
There's a blonde Sheila driving through the countryside of New Zealand, and she saw this Kiwi guy in the field fucking this sheep, and she stopped and pulled up and went to the fence line and went, "Hey, shouldn't you be shearing that sheep?" And he said, "Fuck off! I'm not shearing this with anybody."
we have a monogamous relationship.
I am in a committed
at least
relationship
he's
here.
keeping it in his species. At least he's keeping it into a
I put a
chosen.
ring on it.
At least he's keeping it to that species, and he won't populate.
By the way, just as a side note, that song always disturbed me. Whenever I heard it, if you wanted it, you should have put a ring on it. I keep thinking about this guy going, okay, pulling out like this hole puncher and then like piercing the labia and putting a ring on it. Well, that's what I liked, bitch. I mean, it just seems really
No.
disturbing.
Some of
you
them
threw it
might
down-
be into that. You never know.
See, your ring hole also means your asshole, or your ring means your asshole. So every time I hear that song, I'm thinking about if you want it, you should put a ring on it. So I'm thinking about like them backing up on a guy's finger, like getting some dude.
She's wanting some anal. She wants anal.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
it's
it
either
is.
anal or
Is it-
frontal.
She's crying for anal.
But you know why Kiwis wear Ugg boots? So they can put the back legs of the sheep in them, so they can't run away.
Same thing as the Welsh. They're all the same, man. It's weird. They just change the country. It doesn't make any difference, does it?
Any rate,
We've all got the same thing.
enough sheep
If
jokes.
you can't
Enough
find a
sheep
sheep, you
jokes.
can always fuck the Ugg boot.
Moving on here. Woman earns a living hugging total strangers. This is in your neck of the woods, Farty. There's a woman who
What?
in Australia gets paid to hug people. She makes $58,000 a year.
And you know what we call her?
Bollocks. No.
You know what we call her? Too
Hooker.
frigid to be in a brothel.
Hooker.
No, she can't make that much money in a year just hugging.
Apparently,
No,
this
bollocks.
woman does.
She must be.
She is a professional cuddler.
No, I think the hug leads to something else. Like there's a private VIP room or something. She's not making
It's
50
a
grand
cuddle
out
with
of
full
hug.
release.
Actually, if you have a look at like places like the Sefton Playhouse, which is a strip club, and they have things like, well, everywhere else they got private shows where you can go into a thing and the Sheila basically grinds on your dick until you're fucking boinking your pants. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there are fucking losers that fucking bad out there that would settle for a good long hug.
Jesus, I hope they never find the internet porn.
I really believe. I believe that
drain themselves by midnight.
We've created
Right,
a bad generation. We have.
The last time
No shit.
The last time I went to the Sefton Playhouse was because it was absolutely full of fucking Muslims, right? And my mate Charlie, who's Lebanese, he went, "Oh, they've got a nude show there." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, let's go and have a look." No, I wasn't expecting much, and sure as shit, it was Sheila up on the stage for about 40 minutes and took off various elements of clothing, and then she had this G-string on and covered her mutt with her hand, and then took the last bit off, and she's doing the can with her fucking fingers, but you're not seeing anything. And then after about 40 minutes, it was lifted her fingers up. No, it was literally that quick, up and down, and that's all you saw. But the whole place was full of fucking these arsehole lebs and muzzos and all this kind of shit. And they were jumping over each other's shoulders. They were hanging off fucking ceiling fixtures.
Oh my God, she's showing off her ankle.
Shit. They were.
It sounds like like that sort of.
They were carrying.
It sounds like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or the thing where the wolf and the eyes pop out.
Yeah. A room full of these cunts, but they're trying to climb over each other and hanging off the fucking roof. And I'm like, I've never been this fucking desperate to see a minge before. Fuck this joint. I'm over this place. And that was the last place. That's the last time I went in there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you lower expectations,
but that's why they have to put their women. That's why they have to put the women into fucking bin liners, isn't it? Because they can't obviously control themselves. They got no impulse control.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's the most common thing yelled out at an Arab strip club? Show us your chin.
Yeah.
Burqa by Levi.
Show us your nose. I want to see some nose action.
We need casual Burqa Fridays. You can show off your ankles.
Oh, look, a kneecap. Oh, look above the kneecap. Oh, I'm spent.
She's showing off her hair. Angels will come down and rape her. Speaking of stupid women.
Allah will kill you.
Oh, this one's
Allah
great.
will kill you, fucking.
Women cheat because they love their husbands and want to save their marriages, according to new book.
Oh, that's a bullshit old story. That fucking. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. It's just a reason for slutbags to go off and be slutbags while they're married.
Like I haven't talked about this one before, but I was looking this over and I'm just sitting there and going, "What the hell?" Like, is it just me?
I think they call it a defense case. Just they're going to court. No, I did it because I loved him. That's a lawyer's last desperate attempt to.
That's what I want to know. Like, who would actually
feminists?
Male feminists or?
Yeah,
no, female feminists. No.
Well, both actually. Yeah.
It's a feminist excuse so they can have one bloke on hold while they go and fuck themselves stupid, and it's the way they see it is the same way as like what fucking cads do. Like, oh yeah, I got 8 chicks on the side. Yeah, you beauty. I fuck her finished Tinder in a weekend kind of fucking bullshit. They think that's how we act, and that's the way that they think. Like my last ex was a bit like that. She thought that I was cheating on everybody, so to keep the relationship, she's going to go and fuck everybody else. I was like, I know how you fuck. You don't like condoms, so I'm getting a blood test, sweetheart. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Well, you want to be the fucking slut. I'm keeping myself for you. Fuck you, you bitch. Oh, by the way, I'm moving out the weekend. The rent's all yours. It fucking blew up in her face. Literally.
Yeah.
But is
Well,
it
they
just
need
me,
some
or is this like
consequences.
coming up more and more? Like, it isn't just this.
No, it
I'm
is.
seeing other articles and like from actual
Yeah.
newspapers on their websites. They don't put it in the newspaper, but they'll put it on their websites, like the New York Times.
Well, why
Crap.
did
It's
why do you think everyone's bringing up, this cuck idea? Everyone's a cuck, right? So
why are they?
that's why.
I don't understand what the motivation is.
It's
well,
basically women who just like, oh fuck, I've locked myself into this, but I'd rather go and fuck everybody else.
yeah.
Same thing as like
Well,
they think about blokes who think
well,
about sex all
But
the
it
time, which
doesn't.
we
no,
It
don't.
the
doesn't make you
difference
happy.
is, right? Yeah,
It doesn't make you
but
happy.
the thing is that, but what they're doing is
For a
they've
few
got the
minutes, it
guy
does.
at home who's got the income, right? Who's got the decent income, right? But he's probably a bit of a fucking, damp rag. So they've got the income, they've got the security, they've got the nice house, they've got all of the, the material stuff, and so they go off and but that guy doesn't actually turn them on. They're just doing that so that they can have that level of security, and then they go off and fuck, the alpha male because that's what they actually want. I mean, it's basically prostitution. They're agreeing to, for their husband to fuck them once a week or something, just on the basis that they can keep this lifestyle. In the
Yeah.
meantime, they're out plowing getting plowed by anyone else.
No, I
that they
understand the
find.
motivation. I just
That
don't
also-
understand why there's
that
so many
also does-
newspapers pushing it. That's what I don't
But
get.
Cabbage's theory also goes along with the whole thing of domestic violence. Like a lot of Sheilas who are in a domestic violence and constant domestic violence situation, and I've seen this myself. I actually even asked, like, this woman complained to me one day about how fucking she was getting beat up by her husband. I was like, well, why are you still with him? She goes, the money. He earns too much. There's one thing that keeps you with the fuckwit asshole, but you want to go around and fucking fuck everything else. And like with this simpleton fucking shit. So I'm thinking, well, maybe the reason why he's probably beating the fucking shit out of you is because you're an unfaithful fucking whorebag.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you just discussed it with him, I'm sure that if he came out, you know what? It needs, like, if I was really rich and I came out and said, I'm looking for a woman and I like to beat her every once in a while, are you into being beaten? Like, if you just mentioned it up front, like, I can see a relationship working as long as you win in eyes open. Yes, every once in a while he likes to beat me because it's what he enjoys. There's masochists out
S&M
there.
or something. Yeah, exactly.
The minute I knew Susan was unfaithful was one afternoon. There was the neighbours, and she was fucking gorgeous hot. Like, totally shat on Susan. And the husband, apparently, according to Susan, was a bit of all right too. And they were outside unloading their car, taking groceries out of their car. And we just sort of happened to look through the window, and Susan goes, you want to do a threesome with the neighbours? I'm like, oh yeah, which one? Oh, the girl. I'm like, okay, really?
My
And then
answer
it turns out I was
no.
speaking to the other neighbour on the other side. I was talking to her one day, and she goes, the people who used to live in that house before you, well, the bloke was knocking off the neighbour's Sheila, and the Sheila was knocking off the neighbour's bloke, and fucking none of them knew. So they were into that. So I was thinking, fucking Susan already did the homework.
If I was there, I'd have got a fucking black light out. I'd be checking that, I'd be scrubbing it down.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't lead to happiness. That leads to complete destruction of self-esteem. If you got no self-esteem, you're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Momentary joy does not fix in the moment. But let me assure
Well,
you.
but that's why they do it, isn't it? Like for the immediate, the immediate dopamine fix. It's just there for that time. Like you say, the next day, then you regret it, and you actually resent yourself for doing it. So it's a sort of self-hatred that breeds from it.
I guess the part that I'm having a problem grasping is why are there is it just because all these newspapers have women who have fantasies about this shit pushing it? Or
weirdly enough, there was a study which was done where it was obviously a private, like nobody had to declare them, what, like it was anonymous, shall we say. And the weird thing was, women had these rape fantasies, especially Japanese women for some reason. Japanese women seem to fantasize about being raped an awful lot more. But yeah, it tends to be a common theme.
Well, see, that I
not
understand.
just the Japanese.
I do understand that
Yeah, it's
part
not-
because there is a certain. Trust me, to have somebody else do all the work is what rape is. All right, so they don't really want
No, I
rape.
mean, yeah, but they would.
They want rape under conditions that they know they're safe.
Yeah,
Like that's what they
but
want.
there
Yeah,
are
it doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah,
No, I'm
That's
not
the-
saying
that's-
it's healthy,
that's the
but
thought-
I'm saying that the
it's
desire.
the tall, dark, and handsome part of it. Like there was a company that tried to start up in Australia where you could contract them to kidnap you and then
Really?
yeah, no shit. Like
Holy fuck.
you just say like you contract
Well,
Tuesday at 4:30 I'll be here and then just come back and come past in a black van and just drag me away and you could pay for them to keep you for a certain amount of time and all this. And when this was put over the radio, there was a plethora of Sheilas who ring in and say, "Oh, and what do they do? Nothing sexual." Oh, and that was basically the general gist of all the calls. It was like, "Oh, really? So did they do this? No. Oh, what about this? No, nothing
No,
sexual.
that would be
Oh.
prostitution. No, this is just kidnapping you
That's
for a
just
while.
so weird that you see. But I mean, this is the thing, and then it's men who are meant to be the perverts because we go onto websites and there's jack off to like fairly standard stuff, and then you got women into the these kind of freaky fucking things, and they're meant to be the arbiters of morality. Please.
Well, my
Well, they
first
should
ex
be, but
was
they're
like,
not doing their job. That's the problem, and they're screwing
Yeah.
themselves in the process. Not
yeah, my
no pun
first ex
intended.
had that fantasy too. Like,
So
my
dildos are
fir-
for.
Alex wanted me to fucking do the whole come in, throw her on the bed, tie her up, and all this kind of stuff. And then it got to a point where she goes and choked me. I'm like, and I did it gently. She says, no, harder. I'm like, no, fuck off. I'm not doing that.
She's
Like,
into like auto asphyxia or something.
See, the problem
Well,
Yeah,
is that
see, I tell you, women are freaky.
more of a point that I don't know my own strength, and I would have killed her. Like, no, fuck, no,
Yeah.
don't take the safety off of that one. Hang on, back in a moment.
Gotcha. Any rate, let's
Yeah.
move on real quick here. We'll talk about
Very
it.
weird.
Final topic. Women cheer as Sweden's man-free musical festival kicks off.
Sweden's what?
I'm sorry, this one doesn't have the pictures. One sec.
Sweden's what kicks off? Well, it's all right. They'll be fine. They will be raped by Muslims because fucking Sweden's a lost cause now.
Oh yeah, they have Sweden has a festival where it's women-only music. It's a safe zone for only women,
great.
and holy crap, these are some ugly-ass women.
Yeah, and the thing is that Sweden has such a high concentration of beautiful, absolutely gorgeous women, just like Iceland, And it's the fat, ugly ones are the ones that have come out and fucked everything
Feminism
up.
hates beautiful
And
women.
Sweden,
Feminism hates beautiful
they
women.
do.
They just
Yeah,
they
we've
try
seen
to
that.
destroy beautiful women, cost them their jobs. They just don't. They just hate
Yeah.
beautiful women.
But that's what I mean. You can see that with what happened with the pit girl. I mean, I don't know if you know over here we banned. You can't have Formula One pit girls. You can't have, what they basically classify as the eye candy. But these girls are actually doing advertising. They're doing they're doing promotion and stuff like that. But no, the feminists just thought we don't want these beautiful people earning a living, so they basically just shut it all down. I mean, they're coming. I mean, there will be no more models in the future. I mean, you've seen all this crap about, why aren't there any plus size models? Very good reason, because you're fat and you're ugly, and nobody wants to look at you.
And there's a reason for that.
It's not that complicated, but they won't fucking. It's genetic. It's
because you don't like yourself and you're not willing to put in the time and effort to make yourself healthy. So why would I want to be with somebody who's going to die early? I'm sorry, but
exactly,
it's a practical matter when it comes to that here. But
it's called evolution. It's called fucking evolution, but they want to deny evolution, I suppose. Evolution deniers.
The part of this that boggles me for
that.
this thing here when I've been reading it up is that basically the women are like, oh, I'm sick and tired of being sexually harassed against and all this other stuff. But when they talk about it, they're talking about all men. Like, in their opinion,
Yeah,
every man
exactly.
in their country is the problem.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to
It's
be
always
perfectly
all as well.
honest,
It's, I mean,
I bet the men in their country bend over backwards for women, except for the Muslims. I really do.
oh yeah, guaranteed. It certainly won't be the Muslims that are appealing to their needs. I mean, they'll be told to shut the fuck up and get back in the kitchen. You know, if it was a Muslim family, you know, hell, they can't even go out the house without an escort. You know, they need they've got to be escorted everywhere they go. Even, I mean, like Saudi Arabia now, they say, well, we've let women drive. Oh yeah, but only if there's a man in the car.
I'm
Yeah, it's so fucking retarded. And yeah, and then you got women from Islam. Have you seen that? Fucking insane. Women for Islam. Well, good luck with that, ladies. See how that fucking works out for you.
You know what boggles me? I don't know why more men don't convert to Islam in Sweden.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing. And also, here's an interesting one. Why is it that there are more men trying to convert to being women than there are women becoming men? Because if it's such a fucking patriarchy and everything, you'd think that they'd be flooding over to our side, wouldn't you? Seems to be an awful lot more men who find, you know, like, you know, and they're usually the most witless individuals and the most spineless, who are, you know, converting over to their side. And I'm not talking about the ones that really have the dysphoria,
Oh
you
no,
know, but
yes,
that's
I
the
mean, of
ones who are
course.
doing it.
The
Yeah.
trenders, yes, yeah.
Exactly. You know, and then they regret it later, and then guess what? Oh, what a surprise! We have a very high suicide rate with these kinds of people. Yeah.
No, I mean,
Lunatics.
there is hardwiring issues. All right, let's not be on. Let's be perfectly blunt here. There are people who have hardwiring issues. No amount of anything's going to fix that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the dysphoria.
Yeah, that
You
I
know,
mean that's the way it is, and I personally think that it's a bad idea to start chopping off body parts. But you know what? We've established that people have the right to do whatever they want with their bodies.
Yeah,
So
but not until they're 18. Not until they're classified as an adult. I would say really that no doctor should do it until the person's 21.
well, then
Personally, I
you don't
wouldn't
want to
even
go to
say
California.
18.
I mean to Canada.
I know, it's fucking disgraceful.
But my thing here is
Quite
that with this,
mind-blowing.
this is like a bunch of women getting together and like all creating the same narrative in their heads. When I'm sure they all patted each other on the back and they were all like, "Yay, there's no men here" and stuff like that. But it's along the lines of, this is not empowering. Okay,
No.
this is not. This is in no way, shape, or form making you look strong. This makes you look weak.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. I would, if there was a men only concert, I would not go. Not because I want women there, but because it would make me look like, oh, I can't take having women around.
Yeah. Exactly. And also, if you've got a partner and, you know, you like to just go and listen to, I mean, you'd want to share experiences, right? So you wouldn't want to say, well, on this day, I can't take my partner to it. Or if there's bands on that you really want to be there and say, oh, come and see them. You'll really enjoy, you know, this band. Yeah. And you couldn't do it. That's ridiculous. It's retarded. Actually, well, I thought that violates all the, you know, the laws on sexual discrimination.
Well, no, the laws on
because you're not
sexual
allowed to
discrimination
discriminate
don't
based
apply
on
against men.
sex.
You know that. You
Of course
know
not.
it.
Sorry, I know. I was being naive.
Like, sexual discrimination only goes one way, and you know it. And but here's the thing: is that there's a part of me that is really sad by all of this, because this is just a symptom. This is just a really bad symptom of what the problem is in Sweden. But then there's a part of me that goes, I want Sweden to implode. I want them to crank it up. I want them to bring in another 20 million refugees. And the
world needs an example, but we've already had them. How many more do we need? You've seen what happened in Germany and Cologne. You know,
but it's not big enough
yet.
It's not big enough yet.
Well, I don't know what it's going to take then. I mean, these fucking soy boys aren't willing to stand up and, you know.
Here's a problem, and something that I've been thinking about. I wonder if it's along the lines of the men of their country hate their women. Like, if the women all hate the men, like the men are too afraid to do anything actually against the women. But, you know, if I really hated women, this is a great way to punish them all. You know what I'm thinking?
Could it be the fact that it's sort of like the woman? I mean, again, this sort of like this masochism thing, right? The woman likes the dominance. So the men are actually being too respectful. So they don't respect their men because they're respecting them. So they're looking for someone, and also it means that like the man can't be accused of any. Like if you were a Swedish guy and you were accused of doing something to the Swedish woman, it would be taken seriously. But the Muslim man is never going to get touched because hey, we can't be racist.
Why the hell not?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry. Did you hear what I said before? Or did you just get that?
Nah, dude. Sorry, I was on a phone call. Yeah.
I'm just having this weird theory
I think maybe it's a masochist
about
thing.
Sweden, where they've beaten down the men so much that the few men that are in charge of the system, they're all just either bowing out entirely and letting the system fall apart, or they're deliberately sabotaging it just to make women hurt.
No, this is the thing. Don't you know it's basically a complete female parliament in Sweden.
Well, yes, but
I mean, it's I mean, everyone there is a woman. I mean, these are women making these decisions. When people say, "Oh, what would it be like if women ruled the world?" Well, there you go. That's what it would look like. That's what you get. You get raped. You get murdered. You get treated like a piece of material. Like an animal. And apparently, they like that though in Sweden. That's what.
So you really don't think this is men just trying to push this along because they hate the women of their country? That this is just self-destructive?
This is just women being dumb shits.
Yeah, I mean, I think the men still want to go, but the thing, it's like one of those things when your own women are, this is why you got a lot of a lot of people in Europe ended up importing, wives from different countries, the mail order brides. It's because they were sick and tired of women who wouldn't even do the most basic things that they asked them to do. So they imported someone who actually had been brought up in a country where women were taught to respect their husband. So they're basically importing what they like. And because the men gave the women a bit of discipline, so to speak, then they'd probably be more than happy. But then if it was them and they didn't like it, then they can go and sue them and they know what the fucking consequences are going to be. So it's too risky legally.
Well, there's a part of me that wants to understand this on some level, and I'm sitting there going, what? I get it, like on an individual level, but there's got to be a point where you go, 4.1% of the women in like Sweden have said that they have been a victim of a sexual crime. All right.
Yeah, but what do they classify as a crime? Just looking at you these days is a fucking crime. I mean, staring. There was a person who got charged with something, just staring at a woman through a window of a shop over here.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard about that one.
That's how fucking retarded these claims are now. It's and then the women's wonder why they're not getting what they want. It's it's their own fucking fault. They're acting like bloody fainting daisies. Can't handle somebody looking at me on the bus. Oh my god, I'm gonna have that's a form that's triggered me, man. Fucking hell.
Well, I mean, they're all the women recommend,
and yet they're willing to go with a guy who would murder them in a mercy killing if if they were even thought about being unfaithful to a Muslim. That's not going to happen. If you found out, that's it. You'd be found in a parking lot with your throat cut.
Well. Like, I guess I'm at the point where I wish Sweden would either get their act together or that Sweden would freaking implode and just because I don't think it's bad enough. It needs to go. It has to get far worse. It has to get really bad. It has to be so bad. I mean, look at it.
It's happening though. Like in Germany, you had those big, demonstrations that were going on. In Germany, of course, it was put out that it was all a bunch of neo-Nazis and stuff, which of course it wasn't. It was, people who actually gave a shit about their daughters and their wives, and the safety and things. But no, it's happening all over. I mean, Italy had the same thing. They actually told the EU to go fuck themselves because of the problems that they were experiencing. This is common. It's common. But the women, apparently, I don't know, the women don't have a very consistent way of thinking. Well, we know that anyway, right? Because they're emotional creatures, so it changes from one day to the fucking next.
Well, I don't. I mean, and by the way, hashtag not all. I mean, but it seems like the ones who
No,
are
hashtag. Okay, no, all right, no. Hashtag majority. All right.
See, but that's the thing. I can't imagine it is actually the majority. It seems like it's.
It must be, otherwise it wouldn't get this way.
I guess.
It must be the majority. Otherwise, you would not end up with the situation that Sweden's in. And plus, like I said, and look at Europe now. Who's in charge of most of these countries, right? I mean, Macron is effectively a woman. Plus, he's got no kids. You've got, Merkel, a woman, no kids. You got Theresa May, a woman, no kids. Sweden is a woman, no kids. I mean, there seems to be a common thread here. Like a lack of investment in the future.
No, yes. I mean, there's a lack of investment in the future. Definitely. Like you'd think that women would be the ones who thought forward into the future the most, but no, it appears to be when they are in charge of their countries, they don't think about tomorrow.
Yeah, and they don't have kids, so they got no investment in the future.
Ah, well. Anyway, that was the last topic. So
and Justin Trudeau as well. He's a fucking woman.
Well, he's a woman. He's definitely a woman.
Every definition.
No, he's a male feminist, and I truly believe he's a rapist and probably a child molester. We just haven't caught him. It really is everything. Yeah. His body language screams at me. Like if he was in my program here, if he was at this program where I work, I'd be like saying we need to keep an eye on this guy because he's gonna rape one of the other clients. Do not leave this guy alone. I mean, this guy.
No, he does. He looks like a real shady character. He looks like one of those sleazeballs. What are they called? Like what's the fucking term?
And I'm not trying to slander him. I'm just saying his body language really creeps me out because I've watched him on his speeches, and I'm like, yeah.
You can imagine him being like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes, I can. Well, no. Jeffrey Dahmer was kind of a shut-in. No, he's a much more he's a much more civilized mass murderer and devourer.
I was thinking of John Wayne Gacy.
Yes, he's much more of a John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, the clown going out and entertaining the kids and stuff.
Yes, he's a John Wayne Gacy
much more gregarious
type of psycho. Yeah. Anyway, before we wrap this up, last topic. Any last thoughts or anything else you guys wanted to address?
Yeah, a thing that I brought up a good long while ago about my mate getting done for murder, and there's Sheila involved and all this kind of stuff, and she seemed to at the time be responsible for not just this bloke's death but two others.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was the phone call.
I remember that story. God, she's been doing this.
Yeah. That's where I went silent for a bit. I just got a phone call that basically confirmed that ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch old witch, Katie Chaos. I'm just going sort of through some posts and whatnot, trying to find a particular person.
That woman
and it appears
basically like the poster child for everything wrong with feminism.
Hang on, who are you talking about?
Oh, it's a long story, dude. I'll explain it to you later if you want. It's going to take...
Sure. Here's the summary.
But,
this woman got involved with a friend of his, and she drove him insane. And basically, in creating all this drama, she got the person she was dating to murder somebody else, like in a fit of rage. And apparently, she's done this twice before.
No. Got my mate to murder her boyfriend, who she'd actually left that evening and was holding a fake pregnancy over his head. But she's also involved with two other people who apparently committed suicide, who were drug addicts and all this kind of stuff. But in any case, I'm just trying to find a specific person in her posts who is fucking...
Did she gain anything out of these things?
No, she's just enjoys the misery of others.
No. Out of the last bloke alone, she gained about $25,000 worth of recording and sound equipment alone.
So she's
able
to kill themselves.
Pretty much all of his possessions, and had the fucking mother of the victim fully fucking on her side, and she basically the mother handed over all of her son's fucking personal effects over to her.
A complete lack of empathy.
Fucking oath.
That's a sociopath.
That's
If
a
ever there was.
sociopath.
Well, no.
The problem is, it's like we're
Yeah.
making more sociopaths in schools these days.
We are. No shit.
Yeah, there's
Well,
one-
they're teaching
This
sociopathy
one,
in
the
schools.
one person who I'm looking for has confirmed the information that this bitch is dead, and she is what's the term I'm looking for? Continuously absent from all of her posts now.
Well, I'm going to wrap this up here at this point, but we can keep talking afterwards. But my computer's starting to melt down here, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. The bandwidth is starting to get screwed up. So, but we'll keep talking. But I need to end the stream here. So, it's been real. It's been fun, and I think it's been real depressing. So, catch you guys later. Any final words before heading out?
Tomato.
Boobies.